What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Heron Heads podcast. My name's Julio, and I'm joined today by some friends and fellow Inter Miami fans, Dave and Jose. Chris is celebrating a birthday party, as he often does on Inter Miami game days, so he will not be joining us tonight. But before we begin, a huge shout out to our chief Heron Heads, Chow and Mari V. Thank you for the continued support. And if you'd like to support us on Patreon, or join our Discord server, or check out our merch shop, you will find links to all of those in the description wherever you are listening. Otherwise, just drop us a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and that helps us out in and of itself. So we are coming to you live after Inter Miami get a 1-1 draw against DC United, a very heavily rotated starting lineup because of the upcoming Leagues Cup match on Wednesday. But yeah, my feeling is a lot of frustration towards the end of that match. There was a no call on a questionable handball, but beyond that, I think Inter Miami could have taken this game a number of other times leading up to that moment. But we'll get into all of that. How are you guys feeling tonight?
I mean, not great. Obviously, you feel at the very beginning of the day, you see that lineup, and you're like, okay, finally, you're getting a rotation. But then you're seeing Ryan Saylor in there, and you're seeing David Ruiz getting his first play of the season, and you're like, okay, I see the intention of the rotation, but you're also getting guys that you maybe. I mean, David Ruiz, I don't mind seeing him in there, but Sailor should not be playing under any circumstances. So that doesn't feel great. And then you have Toto in the midfield. It seems like rotation for just rotation's sake, and there's no real plan at times. And then you get to see the product on the field, and it's just like this is not good soccer. The group out there, you can tell they have no chemistry together. It's just a disaster for the first half, and then you get your subs on, and you get more of your regulars. You get Baltasar Rodriguez, who we've been clamoring for, and then it looks like a completely different team. And you're like, okay, well, yeah, the thing is, like, you keep saying, I want Mascherano to learn from this, and he doesn't learn. He doesn't learn from anything. It's like every time that you see glimpses of somebody else stepping up, and then we don't see him for another 2 weeks, and whether it's injury or just falling out with the coach, it's inexcusable, and it's just it's more frustrations. I keep getting more and more frustrated with the leadership on this team, and they have to figure something out. And then as far as the handball, I don't know if we're gonna get into it into a more deep discussion later. I am sorry, but we can't always rely on handballs. I feel like this is like the only way that this team feels like they can score within the box if it's not messy is relying on a handball. And yeah, that last one, I'm not surprised that it wasn't called a handball. I know everybody wants it to be a handball. I know it touched the hand, but by the way the MLS has been calling it, they haven't called that type of ball a handball. If I saw that defender, if he had an outstretched arm and an arm down, if it had touched the outstretched arm, I don't think there's a question that that's a handball. But unfortunately, it was headed down into it, and it's like a bang bang play. And I kind of understand why a ref would go the other way. I wish it hadn't, but I see the path for it to not be called, and that's what we got in this one.
I mean, look, it's one of those things where it's like we can't have it both ways also, right? Like we've also as a podcast have begged to see Fafa, for example. Fafa didn't have a good game. Fafa didn't have a game. I'm sure we're gonna hear all the excuses on he hasn't got enough reps, he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that. Gramaski did not look good at all. But you know what's funny when we get into the SOFA scores? The regulars are the ones that did the worst. Not even the guys that we were subbing on and trying to get rest for other guys. It was the guys that are expected to do good, the cellos of the world, that have a spot on our starting lineup. He had a horrible game.
He's not expected to do good by people on this podcast.
Well, Julio, but he, in the sense of like, okay, he's supposed to do better than the guy that doesn't play at all, right? Like he plays often, he gets a lot of reps. We expect him to do good. He's part of our starting unit.
He's bad. I don't think saying that Cello gets regular minutes, thereby he should be better than the other players is a valid argument, because he sucks. And when he's given license to be the quote unquote best player on the field, forget about it, man. He's so up his own ass that like he thinks he's just better and can do things that he can't do. Like, he's not skilled enough to do some of the things he thinks he can do. He tries to make a pass that's way too clever. He tries to make a run that's way too difficult for where he's at positionally on the field. He tries to do these things that he just doesn't have the ability to do, and making him feel like he's the best player out there doesn't help that at all. It exacerbates the issue.
Yeah, there's a
It's like
disconnect
funny, Mimo.
with Cello. There's a disconnect with Cello between his ability and what he thinks his ability is, and that constantly gets him in bad positions. And especially today, I think we saw it like 3 or 4 times where he's surrounded and he thinks that he can still come out on top, and then he just collapses, and then that's the end of the play, and the ball's going the other way, and he's on the ground. It's it's what we've seen. At least the silver lining here is that if we're resting guys for Wednesday, I feel good that Cello started today because that means that in Mascherano's eyes, that Frey is above him, and that means that we should be seeing Frey on Wednesday over Marcelo Wegon.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because Cello was probably the fourth worst guy on the field today. It says a lot about
Listen, David TY in the chat said it perfectly. First half disaster.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was. We are playing tonight. We played tonight one of the worst teams in the conference, in the league, and we looked worse than them. We performed at a level that is so below what should be the drop off from first team to second team.
Well,
You
yeah,
know
I
what
mean, I said it I think in our private chat. I don't think I even said it on the Discord. I said that this product makes me not want to watch. It makes me not even want to discuss this team. Like, coming on tonight, if it was just that first half club throughout the entire match, like we were debating, like, what is there to talk about? Like, we don't want to come out here and just crap all over the team. But if they put crap all over the field, what do they expect? And that the first half effort and just group
So bad.
is terrible. That's a bad product. You can't put that product on the field and then feel any kind of good about what you're doing, and you can't expect your fan base or anybody else outside of the building to think that you're actually competing for anything. That is a humongous drop off. And I understand your stars aren't playing, but your depth cannot be that shallow.
And I'll tell you, continuing what you were saying, Julio, about the first half being a disaster. I think that's what this game was mostly, right? Like it's a game of two halves where we played with our crappy players, and we got crappy results, and then which they shouldn't be crappy. Ultimately, we kind of expected to do better, regardless, right?
We should have been, considering who we were up against in DC United. You would have gone into tonight's match thinking it isn't going to look as bad as it looked.
Right.
And I said it heading into the half. I said, if we're still, basically, if it's still a 1-goal game when we get to halftime, I'm going to bet on Inter Miami to win, because they showed the bench earlier, and obviously when they announced the lineup, but they showed who was on the bench. And Mascherano, like the hubris of this man, he's going to bring on the players to try to get a result if it's still somewhat attainable.
Well,
and right after half, to his credit, he subbed on good players.
You and I saw a difference, right? Because we saw the on the Hard Rock Bets, we saw it was a plus 700 at some point. And I jumped on it because as soon as now talking about the second half, we definitely came out with, we came out with a little more spice to the
once the subs came on.
Not even the first 5 minutes, we kept them pinned back in their own half. I bet there was a different attitude going.
Dave, I bet
it wasn't dangerous.
I already placed the bet before the subs came on, and then when the subs came on, I was like, "Holy crap!"
Regardless, you can have all the possession and have them on their.
I agree.
If there's no threat of scoring, that's a huge problem.
No, there was a threat. There's threats.
For 5 minutes,
the subs came on.
For 5 minutes in the second half before the subs came on, it was a completely different energy level from the Inter Miami team than what they showed in the first half.
Like, it's
yes, DC United is not a good team. 5 is good enough to score against them. All due respect,
but even that was not they weren't threatening.
It wasn't, but you knew the subs were coming. This is from a betting standpoint. Like we're talking about, like we're betting on Inter Miami over the course of the next 45 minutes to get a result. And
they were gonna come on dead or alive. We came on alive, and I was like, okay, well, looking at it being a plus 700 bet, we're only down 1 goal. If we just show a little bit of life against the worst team in the league, man, we might pull this thing out. I mean, it is what it is. We look like total crap in the first half. And then I kind of had the idea where I was like, if it's only 1-0, we're looking a little bit like this. Mascherano might say, you know what, let's put a few guys in. And sure shit, what happened? He literally 2 minutes after I placed the bet, they put on Baltasar, they put on Luis Suarez, and they put on Busi, I think, all three at the same time. Right?
Suarez came on later.
Yeah,
they run RDP.
Yeah.
Okay.
DePaul, Baltasar, and Busi. They replaced the entire midfield.
And those three right there were completely changed the game.
Those absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's to be expected. That's to be expected. Yeah. But what bothers me is you shouldn't have to wait for these guys to come on for there to be a complete flip. Like they should have come out with a little more in that first half. Like that first half lost you the 3 points. They should have been able to run away with this, even without their stars on this field. But
in this man of the match, least of the match, I included subs because it needed to. It needed.
No,
to.
Yeah, I feel like you're not going to get a most out of the.
We didn't press play on the movie. Like it's like we were going to watch Netflix and we just never pressed play until the second half started, and because I don't know what we just didn't play at all. I don't know what happened.
You're just they took disassociating from the first half.
Aliens came and they took our soccer powers like they did a Space Jam, and they just like forgot how to play.
Yeah, but that's sort of what my frustration from this game stems from, is that we still should have won. Even though we lost the game in the first half, we still should have won because of the control that we had in the second half. We should have scored that second goal and won.
And we had that chance in that. Remember at that point where the ball.
Oh my gosh!
It was like it's like
that
really
chance. The Rodrigo de Paul free kick that hit the post.
Oh my god!
I mean, there was
what a beautiful hit.
So many
Honestly,
chances.
Why there was no one at the end of that is annoying to me. Right, because I felt like it went right. It went like this through everybody that could.
We never have anyone in the box. Like it's so if the shot doesn't go in clean, forget about it. Like, we never have anybody in the right spot unless it's Messi. Messi's the only one who's ever found the ball off of ricochets and things like that. Even though Baltasar's goal wasn't even a ricochet, was served out there to him. So I don't know.
It was actually very similar to the DC goal where it was a poor clearance off of a set piece.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we should talk about the Baltasar goal because that his first goal for Inter Miami, and it's sort of been coming. Like every time he enters the pitch, his first touch is like a crazy shot from outside the box that's not too far off. And tonight it found its way into the top right corner.
Even tonight, his first touch was a shot like that.
Yeah.
That just missed. So I mean, that's the danger. That's the threat. That's something that you're actively looking for, that you don't see it from anybody else. It's pathetic that nobody can shoot the ball.
Is that true?
No.
Is what true?
Continue, Dave.
No. Okay. I was like, wow.
Just the classic Jose derailing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Baltasar goal was just one of those goals that's just crazy. I mean, just an incredible technique and the way he lined up the shot, like the run up to the shot where he curves his run a little bit just to make sure he lines it up well, takes it with the outside of the boot so that it sort of swerves away from the goalkeeper. Just a great technical goal.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like we've been kind of like, and it's not just Baltasar, right? Like I feel like we've had a lot of those shots. I think we connected with one with Jordi, correct? Jordi had a shot like that where, it was a beautiful shot as well. But it's funny, like I feel like we've tried those a lot, and we never get to see it as beautiful as it was today. You know, besides the Jordi Alba one, obviously, but that's Jordi Alba, right?
Yeah. Well, we miss 95% of those.
Yeah, and it was such a beautiful. Just lined it up perfectly. Just. It wasn't. It almost. I don't know if I count that as a screamer. I feel like it was a placement shot. What do you guys think?
No, man, you're crazy, dude.
Screamer.
You're
That's
I
crazy.
thought
screamer.
Jordi Alba was a screamer. That thing went
You
right to the.
if this goal happened in the Premier League, let's say, you would be like, Messi can't hit the ball that hard.
No, the issue is that it didn't hit the crossbar. If it hits the
Right.
crossbar and ricochets
Right,
there
down
was-
there, he's
there was
less violence on the
Yeah,
impact.
I like violence. You know, I felt like it hit the net gently, like swish. It was
At
like a
all.
swish.
at
No,
all.
man. It was tearing at the seams.
All right, fair enough. Move on.
I think I heard the ball scream.
Okay.
You know, but talking about him, it's a shame that we didn't start him. You know, because I felt like the moment that he was in there, he just changed the game, man.
Well, he would start. I would start him over Allende.
I was gonna
but-
say maybe it alludes to plans for Wednesday.
but we've said this.
I know, but I gotta hope, man. I
Although
gotta
I don't
hope.
know.
I don't wanna
now,
do it. I don't wanna keep
play
doing it.
devil's advocate on that. I don't know if Baltasar can do what Allende tries to do for us.
What, not score?
No, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't.
I don't know.
stretch
I
the
don't know
field.
what Allende tries to do because every time I
I
see him
think
try
he
to do
tries
something,
to
it's
stretch
bad.
the field. Whether he trips on the ball when he's got past people is a different story. And whether he makes it or doesn't, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is he tries to stretch the field. I don't think Baltasar tries to do that.
I think Baltasar is adequately fast enough to do the same thing.
I agree with that statement.
I would love to see him do it because I
He
like
hasn't
him.
been played in that
better.
position.
I like
He
him way
showed-
better as a player.
He showed his explosiveness today, even just chasing after loose balls and things like that. He showed his explosiveness. The fear with him is that he can't stay healthy, and that's why I understand why if they choose not to start him, but he should be one of those guys who's like the first off the bench because
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
he brings speed, he brings a threat, he brings a lot of things that you don't have.
Brings
So
ability.
in that sense, if you're gonna start Allende, fine, but be ready to take him off sooner. Like, don't have Segovia being the first guy pegged to come off regardless of what happens. Like, I'd rather Segovia stay on and you remove Allende in the 60th minute and then have what is it, 30 minutes of Baltasar just going balls to the wall. Please give me that.
Yeah.
I agree. Jose, before we get into the most and least of the match, do you guys want to talk about the refereeing in general?
I hate doing that.
Okay.
We can, but look.
I ask.
I'll tell you this. No, I'll tell you this because a lot of people seem to talk about, or like literally everyone in the comments is talking about it, and they're upset about it. I think the whole point of having a VAR is that use it, right?
Yes.
So like, I did see there was a time where it absolutely hit somebody in the hands. It absolutely. I feel like they should have reviewed that. The time that it's towards the end where you literally saw it on the replay, it hit. Whether that is, I don't know where it, I know the rule is
Like natural position.
And it looked unnatural, but did it impact the play? I don't know if it actually impacted the play. That's the thing.
The MLS has a problem with the rule itself. I feel like this, and we saw this a lot in football, like the whole debate of what is a catch. Remember how, like, if you bobbled the ball, there was a lot of interpretation
surviving
going on.
the ground.
Right. There was all these
all
these dumb subjective things, and we're seeing it now with the MLS and the handball because nobody seems to know what the hell the handball is. In most other leagues, no doubter, touch his hand, that should be a handball. We see many European defenders arms behind their backs in those situations, and they're not going to get called for that. If your hand's away from your body at any point, whether it's close to your body or sticking out, and it touches your arm or hand, should automatically be a handball. We've seen time and time again in this league where they don't call it because there's a subjective portion to it. Whether it's in the rules or not, it's the way that they cover it. So that's right. I know, but what I'm saying is we see how they're covering it, so we can't be outraged when they don't call it. When it's the same thing over and over. It's too subjective. Our ire shouldn't be at the ref because they're giving him the subjective.
And that's why
the ire should be with the league. Like, I'm so tired of this. The MLS is riddled with inconsistencies. Whether it's the handball rule or their dumb rules when it comes to the money of the game, there's just so many things wrong with this league, and they need to fix it. And it goes back to the root of the issue. Is like, this is why no one respects this league. Like, get your shit in order, and this is part of it.
And at the end, Mike V just brought up, and then there's obviously after the Luis Suarez yellow card, to add insult to injury. They just stop it while we're literally on an attack.
Yeah,
There was
because
an injury.
again, that's
I
one
don't
of those.
understand.
So
That's one of
frustrating,
those
man.
stupid rules. Like, oh, it's a head injury. I get it. The guy got
Oh
kicked in the
my
face, but like,
god,
god
that drove
damn
me
it, man.
crazy, dude. That drove me crazy. And then on top of that rule, right? There's the injury rule, right? Where if someone gets injured and they're down for a certain
have
amount
to
of time,
wait.
they have to go wait. But when it's a head injury, that does not apply. So
Yeah.
you see this little piece of crap. He goes down. He's like, "Oh my god, my head must be concussed, right? It must be the end of his. He might be on his deathbed. Yeah.
He put his career on the line.
Oh my gosh. They take him off the field. He's there bouncing up and down on the sideline, runs right back. Can I go on now? Do I even have to wait? Get out of here, man. Stopping
again,
the play, and Inter Miami finally have a break where DC United's up the pitch, and it's like a 5-on-4. I mean, come on, man.
But again, it's
so frustrating. I don't blame the referee.
Exactly,
it's
not
a
officiating
rule.
Miami.
It's a rule that is so garbage.
Yeah, the rules are terrible.
It's such a garbage rule.
And also,
man.
I've never been a proponent of, especially with the game that we saw today. I don't want to be talking about the refs. I mean, I understand the reason that we always skew that way, right? As fans, we kind of want to blame it on somebody, but in this game, it was so squarely on us. Like we should have won. And look, ultimately, and he's not going to be on the least of the match. He's not going to be in the most of the match, but he is in my record book the least of the match. It was Kremaski. After talking out loud about how he doesn't get any playing time, about talking out loud to the media about his not happiness, how he's being utilized, and that maybe he needs to go somewhere else. I'm thinking maybe he should go somewhere else, because when you're having the opportunity of a lifetime to be able to put the team on your back, and what are you doing, man? What are you doing? I mean, first of all, I thought it was extremely disrespectful to go to the media before the coach even knows that you're upset about it. I don't know, man. I think that's just I think it's a young kid that made a great mistake, and now I think that maybe he's in his head about it now. That's the thing, right? After the coach fired back and Makayama said, it's a shame. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. That's twofold. That's, as a manager, as a leader, you should have a heartbeat on a pulse on your team. I feel like he should know if Kremasi's upset. But maybe he needs to get a little better with that. But at the same time, as a player, grow up. Go talk to your manager and tell him that you're pissed off. And then when you get the opportunity, do something with it. Because you had a one-on-one opportunity today against a defender in the box, and you flop. I don't know what he did.
But that's not him being in his head. That's him all season. He's been like that. That's the thing. It's like what we saw today and what we've seen, obviously, since he's made those comments, there's been zero change from what we've seen at the start of the season to now. So it's not like now that he spoke up and he's getting like the ire of the coach. In fact, the coach is probably Mascherano's put him in more since he said that.
I agree.
And he's playing exactly the same. And there is a small part of me that thinks that this is a little bit on Mascherano for not developing players, because we've seen it where a lot of these young guys haven't really taken the step forward. If anything, most of them have regressed. I think the only one who really took a step forward from last season to this year is Noah Allen. And even him, he's shown that he's not being like lately. He hasn't, since his injury, he hasn't really shown that he's been that good anymore.
So I thought he didn't do bad today. I thought from all the players,
but he's not playing like when we first started this season. Noah Allen was lights out, and now he's kind of just blends into the garbage.
He's another rotational player now.
Yeah, it's not. He doesn't look like he was like. He looked like he was going to be a mainstay. Wow, we figured something out here.
To be fair, do you think that if we're trying to compete with the top dogs, do you think Noah Allen should be out there?
Oh, I don't. I mean, again,
no, but if he's playing at the level he was playing at the beginning of the season, to Dave's point,
he warrants
absolutely.
It. Yeah, but he doesn't do that anymore. Now it's like you have Falcon seems to be your top option at center back, and then after Falcon, it doesn't matter whether it's Lujan or Noah Allen or even Toto Aviles. Like they each have their pros and their cons, but they kind of all it all evens out at some point with them, and it's unfortunate you don't have a clear cut player, and you really really wish that it was Noah Allen or Toto who could take that next step forward and take that top center back spot, because those are guys that we have control of, but it hasn't happened. And then you look at all the other young guys that we have. Kremaski hasn't done anything. He's taken a major step back. David Ruiz has become invisible, whether it's because of injuries or just not showing it to anybody. He hasn't taken a step. Redondo's gone. Like it's unfortunate. We don't have anything to show for with our academy and any of the players outside of Yannick Bright. And he's technically a more recent addition to this club. He's not an academy guy. So I don't know. It's frustrating. But I don't know. I really don't know how they plan to shift to that, because I think that does fall on the staff.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's Chuckle said it very, very eloquently. I'm very upset. Wow, what a team last year, and super excited 2023. However, this team has started out okay, but then got worse from that. I would say we started off pretty good, then we went to terrible, like one of the worst I've seen since Messi got here, and then we've had a resurgence since then. And then I wouldn't get so upset about today ultimately, and I'm going to tell you why. Because this wasn't our starting team, and the moment we put our starters in there, the game shifted. I mean, it is what it is. It's a sucky thing to say, but ultimately these are professionals, right? I mean, we're putting our C squad against our A squad, and we almost won. You know, am I wrong? Do you guys agree, or
No,
like?
I definitely agree with the premise of like we shouldn't get super
Like, look at
upset
Orlando.
over
Like, look
the
what
result
Orlando
tonight.
just did, right? Like, they
Yeah,
got
yeah.
wrecked.
I think what's really frustrating about this team, regardless of tonight's lineup, is you never really know what you're gonna get, and it's very inconsistent.
True.
Recently, we've seen really good performances by the team. We've seen really good performances by Mascherano as a manager, and then the next match, you're like, what? It's like last week you were on drugs or something. Like I don't know why the other game you made really good timely subs, had a really good game plan, and this game you don't, and then the next game sort of somewhere in the middle. You don't really know what you're going to get from game to game to game, and I think that's the frustrating part, because you know how talented this team is. I mean, on paper, we're one of the most talented, if not the most talented team in the league. So when you go week to week or match day to match day, and you don't really know what you're going to get on the pitch, that to me is super frustrating. And it's like you could easily say we still don't know what our best 11 is, and we're 80% through the season.
It's
That's a
unforgivable.
problem.
How do you not know who your best 11 are? And but it's the same thing. We argue the same things every day. It's like, how does Mascherano not see that Allende can't do any better? Or how do you see that Chelo is god awful on ball and he continues to make the decisions that he does? And then Suarez is just limping through the match and plays the entire match. Like he doesn't learn from anything. And that's you can't expect him to evolve if he can't make simple adjustments. Like there's things that you like anybody with a pair of eyes can see that. Like you don't need to have the high reference frames that I'm wearing here to really understand that some players just don't play well and they need to take a seat. Yet Allende is an everyday player. Like maybe put him in timeout for a little bit and have him sit behind and see somebody else play and maybe learn from somebody else. And he sees, oh wow, look what Baltasar did. Maybe that's something I can incorporate into my game. But no, he just empowers these guys and hopes that alone, encouragement alone, is going to change something. But it hasn't worked.
Yeah, it's very frustrating to me.
Speaking of frustration, least of the match.
Yes, absolutely.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
And now it's time for Jose's most and least of the match, presented by SofaScore. All right, Jose, let's get into it.
Let's get into it, guys. So, least of the match, who do you guys got? I wrote pretty much everybody down because it was such a average to crappy
everyone
game.
Was the least.
Like everyone sucked. So it's like just throw a dart. Like
there's
there's
a lot of candidates here. There's a lot of candidates here.
There's a lot. And I'm gonna tell you on my personal, like I said, like I was mostly annoyed at Crema, and Crema wasn't actually on the least of the match. Like
which is why I'm not gonna say him, but I'll go with Fafa because I thought Fafa was pretty poor tonight.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
and he sucked. I agree.
I mean, and again, under the same vein, like I want to scream Allende, but I'm not gonna go with Allende. I'm gonna go with Lujan because I didn't see him do anything.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank God. I was like, did he put the wrong? Was it the one guy that did him right? I was like,
right in the middle.
No, I did luckily, and I
All right,
did count him as the least of the match. So you're not wrong, Dave, but he's like 6 down. So it's like you kind of are wrong. But anyways, Allende had a 6.4. You should have gone with your gut. You had a terrible match. I mean, terrible match. It's been just a
The
bad
first
run of
half,
form.
everybody who started had a terrible first match. So
Well, that's the thing. Like, so you remember what I was telling you guys? I was like, the guys that we do expect to step up in this situation is the guys that get run every single game, right? That we pretty much expect them. They are the starters, whether we like it or not, and we kind of expect them to do good in these situations. Allende being one of them, Segovia being the other, right? Cello being the other. These are guys that did not step up at all. They were the least of the match. Those three.
Yeah.
And that's something that's pretty bad. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the guys that I'm sure Macherano, when he threw the dart at the dartboard and said, that's what I'm going to do. I guarantee he didn't expect this to happen, that they would suck.
Yeah, you expected them to. He expected them to do what Messi does for them. Like those guys who came on late in the game. You know how you expect them to kind of lift everything. They expected those guys to be able to lift all the non-starters around them, and
Right.
they don't have that class. And
Yeah.
and if anything, you see, we saw it pretty often where there's a disconnect with what they wanted to do, and when different players thought they were going to make runs, and they were all disjointed. But it's funny because we usually see that with Suarez and these guys yelling at the Segovias and the Allendes of the world. And in this case, you had the same issues, but they don't have that leadership role to really whip these other guys into shape. So they were kind of just accepting the disconnect, and we're like, well, this is what we got tonight. Like, no, show a little gumption and get out there and bark at your teammates if need be. And they didn't do that.
Is this something that you guys are worried about though? That like we've been doing the least match ever since we started the show, right? And typically when like somebody sucks for so many games in a row, something typically happens with them, correct?
And it's a huge concern that there's
Allende
no
and
adjustment.
Segovia have been on this list the last 3 or 4 games.
And Cello.
Well, we started jokingly saying who's
Cello
the
has
least
a
other
naked
than
pictures
Cello.
of the boss. That we already know that.
But it's
Cello should be on the award.
It's very concerning, and that plays into the inconsistency because as much as they're on the least of the match, specifically Allende and Segovia, randomly they'll be man of the match, right?
It's been a long time since Allende. It's been a long time for Allende.
I took out the Sharpie and I was gonna put something in red, but like it just I don't. All right.
Okay.
It broke.
Yeah, but yeah, it is very concerning, Jose. I mean, it's one of those things that Dave sort of mentioned this earlier. You as just a fan of the team, right? You're watching these matches, and every match you're like, why is this guy on the pitch? Why do we keep doing the same thing? Why is player A getting subbed off when player B clearly is the one that needs to be subbed off? Like, why are these things continuing to happen? And it's to me, to someone that's sitting on the couch and isn't with these players day in and day out, it's blatantly obvious that you're doing the wrong thing. You're making the wrong decision over and over again. And I personally don't understand why Mascherano does things the way he does. I don't know if he knows why, but I can't fathom the logic that he plays with.
It's like he makes subs and they're predetermined. Like he says, regardless of what's going on, I'm gonna sub this guy off. Like we see it. How many times have we seen it with Segovia, where he seems to be the only dangerous player? He just scores a goal.
He's like, yoink,
off. Allende, who's looked lost in the sauce the whole match, stays in, but Segovia comes off. That the only way that works is if you've determined before the game has even started, I'm gonna take this guy off first, and that's the only way I see it happening, because nobody in their right mind would see Allende flounder constantly, time and time again, and then decide to leave him on and take Segovia off.
Yeah,
like I get it. Segovia's not a perfect player, but right now his form is 10 times better than Allende. And maybe it's a positional issue that he feels like they don't have a 1-for-1 replacement. Figure it out, man. You're the manager. You have to figure these things out, and don't figure it out on a match day. Figure it out in training. And that's something that we're not seeing. It's like, yes, I get it. We're not privy to their training, but what we're hearing from the sources who are privy to training is that their training regimen is soft. And this is showing on the field.
Seems to be a theme in Miami sports.
And on that note, let's get into the most of the match, because I'm curious. I imagine it's Baltasar, right? I think that makes the most sense.
You said Lujan is 6.9.
I mean, everybody who started
And
was bad.
what was Fafa?
Everyone.
Fafa was 7.0.
Okay.
7.0. Crema was 7.0 as well. Just very mediocre. And actually, Chow made a great point where there's no man of the match without the subs, and that's why I did have to include it, Dave, because it's literally the truth. Otherwise, I'm going to be honest with you. Otherwise, it would have been Ryan Saylor.
Jeez.
We can't have that. We can't have
What was
that.
his rating?
7.1.
7.5. We can't have Ryan Saylor be the man.
He's not going to get many chances, Jose. We might actually need to let him be man of the match.
It was probably that shot he took, the shot that no one thought he had any business taking, and he's like, "This ends now." Into the moon.
Went to the moon.
A new crater on the moon.
And no Allen 7.2, David Ruiz 7.2. But to get to the subs, which were the stars of the show, obviously. Well, what do you guys got? Whatever. I already said it.
The subs are the star of the show.
Yeah,
I think
exactly. I'm not gonna ask you anymore.
I mean, obviously, you're gonna get a Baltasar as the star of the show because he's the goal scorer.
Correct. You got Baltasar with a 7.8, and that was the highest that we had in the match. 7.8.
Which honestly, a 7.8 is tough for a sub.
It really is. It really is tough. He had to have played perfect.
Played damn near perfect. He had one really, really good shot that missed, the one amazing shot that went in, and then he had another ground shot that was a good idea, but didn't get through. So he has that shooter's mentality, and
I want to see more.
Nobody else does.
I want to see more of him, man.
Yeah.
Especially when Messi's out, bro.
But all we hear is in training is Baltasar has a hamstring issue, and he constantly. I thought he had a hamstring issue 2 days ago in training.
Yeah, he did.
I was surprised when he came on.
I think I know what's happening there. I think Baltasar and Ian Frey are both well, it's my turn to get hurt today, and they have a little thing going on. Who gets hurt? Ian
Frey hasn't gotten knock on wood. Ian Frey hasn't been that injury prone.
Don't say it.
I know. I just killed him.
Dumb thing to say. I don't you should let me say that and just let it ride and just let it go. But yeah, Chow, he played very well. Great runs, put himself in good places. Totally agree. Julio was so upset after you said that about Ian Frey. He just left. He's like, I am so out. He's like, how dare you say that about Ian Frey? I'm out.
Don't talk about Frey like that.
Right. And then Rodrigo de Paul, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now, as pissed off as everybody is, I had a very nice time watching Rodrigo de Paul, Busi, and Baltasar just dominate that area that they were at. It was that left mid area. When they got their paws on that ball, they made things happen. When they got to the right side, issues, problems. Don't put it that way.
They don't know what they're doing on there.
As the seconds counted down, every time it would go to that side of the pitch where there was no one, I'm like, no, bring it back.
Why you give me the cello? No, why?
No, between Cello, Crema, and Allende.
Oh my god!
We used to have the Bermuda Triangle.
Chance of a turnover.
It's a Bermuda Triangle, but not the type of Bermuda Triangle.
Nowhere. And then when the left side would try to chip it over to the right side for an on-chance goal, for a chance at goal, disaster. No one's there.
Crema's one good chance, and he just basically he grabbed the ball and threw it.
Golly.
So Rodrigo had a 7.2, Busi had a 7.1, which, like Dave said, when you sub on, very difficult to have good scores, but they played exceptional. It's a shame that obviously in where we're at, we're trying to compete for a trophy for Wednesday. We're up against very tough opponents, so I understand it. So I'm not faulting it. We have to sub these guys in, but man,
we have to have Messi.
You obviously see what would have happened if we would have played our guys.
Yeah, 100%. It's just disappointing the way we came out. We came out so flat, which is a common issue with this team, whether it's the rotational players or if it's the starters. Disappointing 1 point. Really felt, despite the bad first half, felt like we should have gotten more from the second half, but it ends in a 1-1 draw. I guess you're okay with it. Other results played into our hands tonight. I think Columbus lost. I know Orlando was down pretty big. Where am I going here? MLS scores. Yeah, Orlando's losing 4-1.
Beautiful.
Columbus lost 2-1. Philadelphia won.
Yeah.
Cincinnati lost. You know,
Yeah,
so we had some
results.
good results in our favor. I believe we still control our own destiny. But I haven't looked at the live standings just yet.
Henry Manuel said that if we just win all our games, I mean, obviously we haven't verified it or anything, but he says if we win all our games, we still have control.
Henry also asked if Ian Frey would be a good center back. I think he would be a good center back.
He's done that before.
Well, he came on as a center back with this club. Like that was his role, but he kind of filled in on the wings, and he really showed that he's a heck of a player on the offensive side. So if you have him at center back, you're really losing that capability, and then also he hasn't really shown that he can stay healthy, so that doesn't help him be an everyday defender. But I think that he has more talent in the offensive side of the ball that it's kind of a waste to have him at center back. Now in a pinch, we've seen him kick in, so it's not that he can't do it, and it's not that they won't put him in there, but I think they would rather have a different type of player playing center back. But in a pinch, absolutely they can put him at center back, and he'll play that position well.
Yeah. So just really quick to circle back, depending on San Diego's result tonight, with the games in hand, we still would be able to accumulate enough points to at least finish joint top of the table with San Diego
for the supporter shield.
For the supporter shield.
Okay.
But again, like Chow just said it, problem is when other top teams lose, we still can't win. We gained a point technically, but yeah, you like these are the types of games that you just sort of rue.
It would have been good. It would have been
dropping. This is dropping 2 points in my opinion. Not
100%.
Yeah.
That's a pessimistic way of looking at it. I mean, I see it as a half full, glass.
This is one of the worst teams.
You're the fool, Jose. You're the fool.
It could have been worse. We almost lost. We almost lost. I mean, we're throwing up in the first half. You know what I mean?
We were throwing up when they scored the offside goal.
Yeah, Jose, we were down. We were down at 1.2, 2-1,
100%.
2-0.
Keep cheating.
They did. They got away with the handball.
All right, so next up, Wednesday night, the gods have shined down upon us. Kickoff at 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday. Glorious against Orlando City. Semifinals of the Leagues Cup. How are you guys feeling going into that match?
Terrible.
Because we didn't know the opponent when we did our last reaction. So you feel terrible, Jose.
You wanted them, Julio. I don't want.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted them, or did you not?
Jose did not.
I did not want them.
Jose went from thinking we were their daddies to being so afraid of them.
We're so afraid of them. It's like our little boy that just grew up and he's 7 feet tall. I don't want any part of that.
I didn't want them, but because I wanted them to be. I wanted them to be embarrassed and not even qualify. That was my main reason for not wanting them, and now I don't want them because I can't take another loss to these guys.
And it's funny how, I told you guys, I have friends that are Orlando because we're very close. I don't know if you guys aren't around South Florida. They're relatively close to us. Orlando, they're like 3 hours away. And we have friends that are Orlando fans. And it's funny, they've been quiet for a while now, and they happened to send me a text. You saw the game? Yeah, of course I saw the game. But
who are these friends?
I'll tell you later.
ChatGPT.
I'll tell you.
Tell us later. Listen. If there's ever a time to get out of this funk against Orlando City, now's the time. We need to be able to step up in these single game elimination settings and get a result. Like it's going to be no different when we get to the MLS Cup. It was no different in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. We need to win these matches. We need to get into the habit of winning these matches. And again, on paper, we have the most talent in the league. So time to walk the walk. Like we can't just keep thinking that when the first whistle goes off and kickoff begins, that we're just going to win the game. We have to go out and prove that we are the best team in the league, and we need to, get into that habit. So yeah, I'm happy it's Orlando. We need to get into these really high stakes situations against really good teams that we're going to come up against probably in the playoffs, and we need to get the result.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, it would be that much sweeter as well to take it from them and to lord it over them. Yeah, you guys kicked our butts in the last regular season play, but when things are actually of import, we can go ahead and take this from you. And it's a confidence boost for this club, whether Messi plays or not, if they can really take advantage of these situations.
Right. Yeah, I agree, and I expect Messi to play.
Same.
So obviously we'll see. The team should have a couple trainings ahead of the match on Wednesday, so we'll know better. So make sure you guys follow us on socials at the Heron Heads. We'll be posting updates as they come out, and yeah, until Wednesday, we'll be here. So enjoy the rest of your night. If you guys are watching any of the other games tonight, hope they're good. Hope they're good for Inter Miami, and we'll catch you guys on Wednesday after all the action. So till then, have a good rest of your weekend and have a good night. Bye.